now.
Yes, that's where she had proposed the new clause after clause 12.
Okay. So, Honorable Akiki?
Thank you, Chair. The bill is amended by inserting two clauses immediately after clause 12. The following: amendment of section 28 of the Principal Act. Section 28 of the Principal Act is amended by inserting immediately after subsection 2 the following: 3. The regulations made under this Act shall be laid before Parliament within 4 months from the commencement of this Act. Insertion of section 29 in the Principal Act. The Principal Act is amended by inserting immediately after section 28 the following: the transitional provisions. 1. The minimum percentage of 55% referred to in the formula to determine the minimum price of sugarcane under Schedule 3 to this Act shall take effect 24 months after the commencement of this Act. 2. Notwithstanding subsection 1, from the commencement of this Act, the minimum percentage of sharing proceeds prescribed under Schedule 3 shall be 50%. Justification: to stagger the application of the minimum percentage of 55% for 2 years to enable the industry to adjust operations before the percentage takes effect.
Honourable Minister.
Chair, we agree to the amendment.
Honourable colleagues, I now put the question that a new clause be inserted in the bill as proposed. Those in favour say, and to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
New clauses.
Chair, the committee.
All right, Honourable Chair. Insertion of new clauses immediately after clause 12. The bill is amended by inserting immediately after clause 12 the following: amendment of section 19 of Principal Act. Section 19 of the Principal Act is amended by substituting the word board, wherever it appears, the word minister. Amendment of section 20 of Principal Act. Section 20 of the Principal Act is amended in subsection 1 by substituting for the word board the word council. Amendment of section 21 of Principal Act. Section 21 of the Principal Act is amended in inserting 1 and 2 by substituting the word board the word council. By inserting immediately after section 3 the following: Section 3A, the council shall, within the time prescribed by the minister by the regulations, consider the application and make recommendations to the minister to grant, to not grant a license, to grant or not to grant a license. 3B, where the council does not recommend...
Chair, I think we go clause by clause.
Clause by clause.
Yeah, you have different clauses, so okay. We need... I think the first one is a consequential clause,
yes, which
whereby we have substituted the board with minister. Okay.
Then minister with council.
That is for 19, section 19. I hope you have the act.
Section 19, yes.
Is that okay, Attorney General? I need it on record.
Yes, Right Honourable Chair, the consequential amendment of replacing the minister with council is okay in section 19.
Because I say members, they are saying should be with council, you can just enlighten. Members are saying it should be council, so just enlighten highlight section 19, what it says for now.
Section 19 of the Principal Act, shall say that a person shall not establish or operate a sugar mill, jaggery mill, or plant, processing it without the valid license granted for that purpose by the board. So the proposal by the committee is to replace the board with council.
Yeah, but now it's saying minister.
I beg your pardon. I read the section 19 of the Principal Act is to replace the provision referring to board with minister under the Act, as proposed by the committee, and we agree with that
And
proposal.
why? And why?
It's a licensing. Licensing is a factor of regulation. So once you have been authorized by the council to do this act and you get a recommendation from them, then the person who issues you the license to participate in that space is the minister.
Okay. Yes, Honorable Maiga.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Chair. Within that amendment, I would want to find out whether that recommendation it has the force that the minister may not refuse to offer the license. Because
But
we
a
need that
minister
guarantee.
A minister should have power to either accept or not accept to issue a license.
But we need also those reasons why, under circumstances under which the minister may not accept. So this parliament should clear that. Because we
Honorable Wadiomu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Chair. Right Honorable Chair, the reason as to why we are saying that it should be a council, because in the Principal Act it's the board. So instead of what we are amending from the board to the council. So I think everything should remain to the council instead of bringing in again the minister, because in the Principal Act is the board, not the minister.
I think here there will be need to read section 19, section 20, and section 21. So section 19 is a prohibitive section. It is prohibiting you from doing something, that you cannot do that without the minister. But the process of the application is in section 20, and the participation of the board is in section 21, what now we'll have as the council. So it's a recommendation of the council for which the minister issues the license.
Okay.
So if you look at section 21, maybe if it so pleases you, Honorable Chair, we could address section 20. We could just stay this over for a minute so that we address section 20 and 21, so we can go through those together and then we can come back to that. Because the recommendation is by the council to the minister. Thank you.
Okay.
Chair, I wanted
Honorable.
clarification from either the minister or the Attorney General as to whether the license being talked about here covers the laborers. Why do I say this? The sugarcane industry has relied on cheap labor from West Nile for a very long time. Even from Acholi, there's a man who worked for 47 years. The only thing he went back with is a bicycle. And now, I will, if it covers, move that during the consequential amendment, I need the laborers to be part of the council. Because we don't want exploitation anymore, the minister should clarify whether the license being talked about here covers those who will supply labor or covers the labor to the sugarcane industry.
Yeah. Attorney General, want you to liberate West Nile from providing cheap labor.
I can understand that, but I think we may stray into a space that is we may not be able to regulate, because labor is offered freely. A person cannot be required to provide the labor they do not wish to provide. Now, if you say that we should have the laborers in here, then they have become participants in the business, which they are not. So I think what we can do is we have sufficient provisions in the Employment Act which address any challenges that an employee may have in our Employment Act and the necessary labor legislation.
So the Attorney General made a request that if we could handle clause 20 and 21, then it would help us on the other clause, so that we don't amend in anticipation. What if the other ones are not amended? We just have them as consequential clauses. So I would propose that.
Chair, I think my issue is not addressed to my satisfaction. Why? What is happening is you have companies that go and pick people from the villages, and then they come and give them to the sugarcane industry. And oftentimes, nobody is speaking for these people. I think if we want to regulate the industry and get value from it, we must ensure everybody in the value chain gets benefit. And that means we must be able to regulate the activities of people who supply this kind of labor, and there must be guarantee for those. That's why I was saying there is need for these people to be represented if the license they are so covers that kind of activity.
Honorable, issues of employment, please, the Attorney General guided. The Employment Act, let us not mix roads, okay? Let's be very clear. Chair.
Amendment of Section 20 of Principal Act. Section 20 of the Principal Act is amended in Section 1 by substituting for the word board the word council.
Chair, when you propose an amendment, you give a justification.
Honorable Chair, to harmonize the provision of Section 19, 20, and 23 with the principle of the bill relating to the grant of licensing by the Minister on the recommendations of the Council. To penalize a miller who pays below the price set by the formula by having his or her license revoked by the Minister. The requirement is to establish a sugar planting capable of supplying at least 50% of the installed capacity of the miller, is to ensure self-sustainability in the period where there is insufficient supply of cane from outgrowers.
Thank you, Chair.
Submit.
Attorney General.
Thank you.